100 down and 62 to go. As the Rays pass the century mark in games played this year, the fight for the postseason gains intensity. Tonight, impressive rookie right-hander Jake Faria goes to the hill with the Rays looking to snap a 5-game skid. Tonight, we welcome you inside Tropicana Field where the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles will square off in the middle game of this 3-game series, and the Rays try to turn this slide around. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Good to have you aboard. We'll hear from Alex Cordry in just a few moments. Well, the Rays now dropping 5 in a row. They are 1 game back of the second wild card spot. And they have a big young right-hander on the hill, Jake Faria. And boy, from the first week of June when he joined this rotation, he was a welcome addition, and they're looking for more good things here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Faria comes on to the Tampa Bay Rays starting rotation, and he has been nothing short of tremendous to start his big league career. 8 starts in, and the one thing that you can say about him, the number's very good, obviously, 4-1, 2.52, but consistency is what stands out. 6 innings or more in 7 of the 8 starts. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in 6 of the 8 starts, and he has that beyond his years mound maturity out there with a fearless approach. It's a nice combination when you're talking about going out there and trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. He's going to have to deal with this guy right off the bat, though. You know, the Baltimore Orioles looking to provide a spark. Moved Adam Jones up to the leadoff spot, and boy, has he ever done just that. Look at the numbers in a 7-game hitting streak. 5 of the 7 games, multi-hit games. Had a great game last night against the Rays. Got it started early with a double. Of course, hit the home run off Blake Snell. And the other numbers, 485, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. Those are the numbers coming out of the middle of the order, not the leadoff spot.
Rays have gone from 7 games over to just 2 games over. And with 62 left to play, a lot of baseball to go. Alex Cordry will help us break all that down when we return.
this 3-game series. And on Monday, Tampa Bay played their 100th game of the season. Now, despite this 5-game losing streak, the Rays still have a winning record. It's the first time since 2013 that they have a winning record. And of course, that was the last year that Tampa Bay made the playoffs. But here's how the Rays rank in the American League after 100 games. Put a star next to this. How about the starters with a 3.96 ERA? That's second in the American League. They're only behind the Houston Astros. But the Rays know there's still plenty of work to do if they're going to be playing in October.
Very pleased. You know, I was talking earlier on a radio interview. The way the East is stacked up right now, I think we probably all would have agreed it would have been very similar to this come opening day, or at opening day. So no real surprises. We knew it's a very tough division, very tight-knit division where teams beat up on each other. It's just going to take us playing good baseball to kind of separate from that a little bit.
The middle game of a 3-game series coming your way as the Rays look to stop the bleeding. Still just 3.5 games back of first place in the AL East. Well, you can see that they are looking to right the ship. Jesus Sucres and company coming your way on Fox Sports Sun next.
The young right-hander just 5 days short of his 24th birthday. Jacob Faria heads to the mound tonight, trying to put an end to this 5-game losing streak as he squares off against the Baltimore Orioles. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for Baltimore, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Buck Showalter again has Adam Jones in the leadoff spot, followed by Manny Machado and Jonathan Scope. Mark Trumbo, the cleanup hitter, the DH. Trey Mancini follows, and then Seth Smith. Castillo, the catcher. Wellington Castillo hits 7th in front of the shortstop, Ruben Tejada. Joey Rickard is in right field, batting 9th.
Well, Jake Faria has been a model of consistency through his 8 starts. As you see the record, the earned run average, 50 innings of work, 45 strikeouts, just 4 home runs given up. Keeping the ball in the yard, throwing strikes, attacking early. That's been the MO of Jake Faria, and he has rode that to some success here with the Rays.
And here is the first pitch of this game. A check swing on the fastball up and a foul ball right back into the screen. Jones starts the night at .278 with 19 home runs. Pitch is down. Jones born in San Diego and Faria out of Cerritos, California. These two have come all the way across the country to match up here to start this game tonight. And a high popper into short right, and out from second base is Beckham to make the catch on that one. Or they had Plouffe from first base all the way out there with Souza Jr. in there as well.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Malik Smith, Peter Borges, and Steven Souza Jr. Across that infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Danny Echeverria, Tim Beckham, and Trevor Plouffe with Jesus Sucre back behind the plate.
Plouffe playing first base with a left-hander on the mound. He's getting a start, and the lone man on the right side of the infield right now with Manny Machado in the batter's box. Ball one.
There's Mr. Plouffe right there. We also saw Peter Borges out in center field. Another right-handed hitter that's going to be in the lineup against Wade Miley.
And that's a fair ball past Longoria down into the corner. Smith with the pickup, and on his way to second, Machado with his 19th double of the year.
Well, here's the thing with these Oriole hitters. There is a comfort level here against Jake Faria, making his 9th start. This was a slider that just didn't quite get to its spot. Wanted that pitch a little bit further away from Machado. And this is the 3rd time that he has faced this lineup already in his 9th start. So these hitters know exactly, what Jake Faria's game plan will be and how he's going to attack them.
Yeah, and that's the challenge, I think, for pitchers, especially for pitchers inside your division. Rays and the Orioles play each other 19 times, so you're going to see these pitchers a lot if you're a Baltimore or Rays lineup. And there's a strike to Jonathan Scope, who, by the way, has been a red-hot Baltimore hitter.
Yeah, absolutely right. We talked a little bit about Adam Jones out of that leadoff spot, who's been hot. Jonathan Scope, the reigning AL Player of the Week. You see the season numbers, just tremendous. Those 71 runs driven in, good enough for 3rd in the American League. That's why you find him right in the middle of the order now.
And that's a strike. Tried to check and could not. It's the changeup with a lot of action down.
Yeah, like a lot of other Rays pitchers that we've seen throughout the years, Faria with a very good changeup, and it works especially well with his arm angle. Coming from an over-the-top type look, can really drive that pitch and get late action down.
And a cut and a miss fastball, and he drives that one in and by him. First strikeout for Faria.
The jump on the pitch and the swing says harder than 92, which is what the radar gun said. But you could see that ball clearly beat him in, ran it up above the hands and late.
Two outs with a runner at second base for Mark Trumbo. Trumbo starting the night, hitting .249. It's a foul ball right back into the screen off an opening fastball. Not only is this the 3rd time Faria has faced the Orioles, but the other 2 were in back-to-back starts. He pitched 6 innings in the first outing and 6 2/3 in the second outing against the Orioles, back-to-back. Right back into the screen, 0-2.
You know, that was the first time after that second start against Baltimore that you thought maybe this kid is onto something, because he had a nice game against him here at Tropicana Field. And then his very next outing is Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and he put up an even better line in that one.
That's right.
Those are tough starts to make, and so when you see that better one, second time through on the road, you start to say, you know what, this kid's got an idea, and he has absolutely proven that point.
Oh, 2. It's popped up. Foul ball going to carry out of play.
How about
the count remains 2 strikes.
Yeah, how about the cluster of pitches? All 3 of those pitches, the fastballs, the breaking ball, have all been right in the middle of the plate. Not exactly where you would want them to be, and Trumbo has been able to do nothing with them.
And that being said, he has again come out here in this game, as he has done so often, throwing a lot of strikes. 9 of his first 11 pitches have been strikes. But as you point out, those catching a lot of the plate right there.
Yeah, don't want to live there. Every now and then, I'm not sure that's where you want to set up camp.
It's really not allowed.
They tend to run you out of there at some point.
One way or another, it's not allowed. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But the demeanor on the mound that you mentioned has been one of the really impressive parts of his game. To be so young, just 23 still, and to have that approach, that presence, and his ability to finish his pitches the way he does. And he throws it by. Trumbo strikes him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. A man left at second. And we'll go to the bottom of the first, where Tim Beckham will be leading off tonight for the Rays. Tonight it will be a left-hander facing the Rays. Wade Miley goes to the hill for Baltimore. Kevin Cash has put together this lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Tim Beckham leads off at second, followed by Peter Borges and Evan Longoria. Steven Souza Jr. in the cleanup spot ahead of Trevor Plouffe. Then Brad Miller, the DH. Adeiny Echeverria hits 7th. The 8th placed hitter Malik Smith. Jesus Sucre will catch and hit 9th.
Well, Wade Miley making his 21st start of the season. That record 4-8, ERA 5.58, 98 in the 3rd innings of work. A lot of walks.
First pitch is a ball. So Beckham, who is 1 of 6 against Miley, in the leadoff spot for the Rays. strike around the knees. 1-1. Hunter Wendelstedt calling the balls and strikes in this game tonight. Beckham with 11 home runs, 33 runs batted in. He was on base twice last night with a single and a walk. Pitch that one a bit close. 2-1.
Oh, Wade Miley, he will use both sides of the plate, but what the Rays hitters need to do is force him out over the plate. He's had that tendency to nibble, especially here recently, and that's led to a lot of deep counts, a lot of walks.
Fly ball, short center. Scope out from second, making the call in front of Adam Jones. And so Beckham is out of there. Beckham leading off for the 7th time this year. And he's out on the pop fly to shallow center.
Let's take a look at the O's defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Seth Smith, Adam Jones, and Joey Rickard. Across the infield third to first, Manny Machado, Ruben Tejada, Jonathan Scope, and Trey Mancini. Wellington Castillo back behind the dish.
Peter Borges gets the start in center field. It's out of the number 2 spot. He takes it wide. So with him in center, Malik Smith moves in to play left, and Brad Miller DHing tonight. Corey Dickerson getting the night off. 2-0. Giving Dickerson a breather here. He'd been struggling, and he was 0 for 9 in his career against Miley. And so Kevin Cash juggle the lineup, get some right-handed bats in there against Miley.
Well, even talking, with Trevor Plouffe over at first base, you're going to give Logan Morrison a night off. And the one thing that does do, though, is late in the game gives Kevin Cash some very good options coming off that bench.
Pitch popped up. Mancini after it from first base, and that ball will be caught. A basket catch right at the railing in front of the Rays dugout. Borges is the second out.
Boy, for a split second, I didn't think that he got over far enough, quick enough. And then all of a sudden, right there at the very end, he flips that glove out and catches that. That ball probably ends up in the Rays dugout. See if that glove reaches over the railing. Pretty close. The grimace as you head to the low wall.
Yeah, the eyes never leaving that pop foul either until the catch was made. Here's Longoria lifting one into center, but Adam Jones blowing a big bubble out there on his way to make the catch. And it's 1-2-3. We go to the second inning. No score. Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Jacob Faria on the mound for the Rays tonight. Here's Trey Mancini. And the first pitch is a strike, a fastball on the corner. It's a base hit to the left of Beckham through the right side of the infield. Mancini an aggressive turn at first, but he'll hang on. And so the leadoff man in the second inning is aboard, picking up the second Baltimore hit.
A nice piece of hitting here by Trey Mancini. That ball moving down and away, and he just stays right on it. Puts a good swing on it, takes it the other way out into right center. Trey Mancini having a really nice year for the Baltimore Orioles. That average up over 300 now. 300 coming in.
Well, he got off to an unbelievable start. He had 10 home runs in his first 26 major league games. Here's Seth Smith. Infield overloaded on the right side. Pitch is wide. No ball, no strikes.
A lot of times you're going to see Tim Beckham back, back in this area here, but with the double play in order, you keep him in. You cover the line on this too, because with him pushed over, Echeverria on the right side of second base, that allows Trevor Plouffe to stay close to the line, so you take that hit away.
There's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt, the umpire, 45 years old. His dad, Harry, was a major league umpire for a long time, from the mid-60s to the late 90s. And his dad, a National League umpire, had a nice size strike zone. And every once in a while, Hunter Wendelstedt will widen that plate a little bit. So we'll see how that works. If you're consistently around there, he might work with you.
Yeah, that's more of the old school style of umpiring. They give you the benefit of the doubt. You prove that you could throw the ball the majority of the time where you want to, then all of a sudden those borderline pitches go your way. That's been in baseball for a long time, and even so now.
1-1 to count on Smith.
The key is, do they still run the academy? Didn't they have an umpiring school?
Yeah, that for a long time. Harry Wendelstedt's umpiring school. Joe Brinkman. Well, you talk about dedication. You go to that school, if you get through it and then try to start your career in the minor leagues. A lot of respect for those guys who make it to the major leagues, and those guys who are looking to fulfill that dream in the minor leagues.
Yeah, it really is not a whole lot different than a player.
And that's exactly right.
You know?
Yep.
You start at the bottom rung and you prove yourself and work your way all the way up to the big leagues. Far fewer spots available to you.
Yeah, there's Joe West, the crew chief here. Joe worked the plate last night. There is ball 4 away. So a single and a walk, and the first 2 men are on in the second inning.
A tough start here at the top of the second. A nice job by Mancini, and then staying away from Seth Smith the entire at bat. Just could not find the outside corner consistently enough, and now you're in a little bit of a spot.
Wellington Castillo. Wide right there. Faria missing a little bit here on the corners.
Yeah, just a nibbling just a hair. Needs to get back to being, aggressive. You start to think outer half, maybe outer third, and then move the ball away from there. Got to get back to that mindset here.
strike.
Or just go right to middle. Either one. Whatever it takes. You know, some guys that have very good command will, you know, shoot for the outer third and then move it off the plate. You know, guys, maybe their command's not as good. You're thinking outer half and then move it. That's kind of the mindset. You want to work inside out as opposed to outside in.
And that pitch close off the plate end. It's 2-1. It's the shortstop, Ruben Tejada, on deck. Castillo's had a nice year with Baltimore. He's been on the disabled list a couple times. Done a nice job behind the plate, throwing. Some good offensive numbers. Pops it foul, out of play. 2-2. 268 average coming in with 9 home runs. Out early with a little shoulder issue, but came back fine from that. And Faria has gone to 2-2 on him. Now a full count. Couple of 3-ball counts back to back. He fell behind Smith 3-1, walked him. Now he's full up with Castillo.
Yeah, tried to throw that pitch right there with his body. He got started towards home plate much too soon, and the arm just never could catch up, and that ball shot way in. It meant to be down and away. And so let's see if he can make the adjustment, and he had better. Pretty important pitch here.
3-2. Ground ball, third. Down to second, one, and Beckenstowe to first. Nicely done around the horn on the 5-4-3 double play. Started by Evan Longoria. Mancini advances to third. Well, that's the pitch he wanted and more, as it turns out, in the double play.
Well, the double play really bailing the Rays out here, an inning that was not going their way at all. And you make one pitch, you get the ball on the ground, and that's why. This is right why they call it the pitcher's best friend.
Rays turn their 70th double play of the year right there. And here's Ruben Tejada, the shortstop. Fastball a little bit wide. 1-0. Tejada acquired from the Yankees organization, getting a lot of playing time with J.J. Hardy on the shelf. Fastball by him. 1-1. Tejada hits in 8 of his last 11 games and 14 of 38 in that stretch. It's moved his average up to 266. It's fouled back. Gives Faria the advantage in the count, 1-2. Mancini opened with a single. He's now at third. Foul, out of play. And with a fastball, a little extra on that one, up around 93 or 94. Baltimore left a man at second base in the first. Runner at third, 2 outs in the second. Another foul ball. Foul the slider back.
Well, everything away. Everything away to Tejada. One thing we know about Jake Faria, he is not afraid to use both sides of the plate. And I'll tell you, if he popped a fastball, you think about that fastball that he threw to Mark Trumbo, you get the same result if he pops it here.
And way up there with the fastball. 2-2.
Well, they had the idea, thinking the same thing that we're thinking up here. And this is a lineup right now. You've got to make your pitches and execute. They've been swinging the bats better. They've been on a much better run as a team.
2-2. And it's low. He lays off a slider and another full count.
Tejada putting up a little bit of a fight here, having a nice at bat.
He's having a disciplined at bat up there. For getting behind in the count.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the toughest at bats too. You fall down early and all of a sudden you start to get a little bit antsy and your zone has a tendency to expand. His has not.
Ground ball, third base. Longoria's thrown to Plouffe. So a single and a walk, but a double play and a ground ball. And we go to the bottom of the second inning scoreless.
Miley. Starting off the season through June the 1st, everything looked pretty good. As you look at his first 11 starts, the record just 2-3, but the ERA 2.81 or 2.82, and the opponent's average 2.41. But look at the last 9 starts. 2-5 record, but the ERA over 10. The opponent average of 3.80, and you can see the whip. Walks and hits per innings pitched, base runners, walks, bad counts. And boy, what a turnaround here as Wade Miley tries to find it in the second half of the season.
Yeah, the Rays saw him early, and he pitched well in that game. Lost the game, gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits in 7 innings. But that was his 4th outing of the year near the end of April.
And there was a little bit of a precursor in that start, which would leads us to the last 9 starts. In that game, he controlled the Rays, but he walked 6 too. So 6 walks in that start, as you can see right there. That was going to be an issue. He was able to pitch around some trouble, ended up with a nice line, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, and that is the bottom line. But the 6 walks in starts nowadays are catching up to him.
Miley ahead of Susie Jr. 1-2. Bloof next, and then Miller. Rays went up and down in order in the first. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit into left, and Souza's aboard. Keeps an eye on Smith out there as he makes the turn at first. Well, our Toyota inside look back to the Wade Miley discussion.
Well, this is what will do it to you. 59 walks. That's the most in the American League. That's in just, well, now 99 in the 3rd innings. Walks and hits per innings pitched. You're talking about almost 2 base runners an inning for the season. Highest in the American League. And then, of course, the strikeout to walk ratio, of course, is going to be small like that.
You know, the biggest whip in the American League.
Yep. That's just too many base runners, and you just invite trouble. You know, when you're talking almost 2 base runners an inning, a hit here, a hit there, and that ERA is going to balloon.
Well, Trevor Plouffe gets the start against this left-hander. The pitch is a strike. Plouffe at first base. Logan Morrison not in the Rays lineup. He's gone 0 for 5 against Miley in his career. So the Rays without Morrison in the lineup as well. Dickerson out. 1-1 the count. So you mentioned before, that could be a loaded bench right there for the Rays. Those 2 guys.
Some late inning thump. Hopefully they don't need it.
Ball kept in front of him by Castillo. It's now 2-1.
Not much of a running game against Wade Miley. 4 out of 6. He does have 3 pickoffs. But I'll tell you, when a guy's having command and control issues, you don't really need to push him too much with the running game.
No, he'll give you a base. That's what you're after. I mean, it's a base, accumulating bases and eventually scoring runs.
Yeah.
And if a guy's going to give you a base, okay, you'll work for it. 3-1 right now to Plouffe. High foul lifted out of play, and the count is full. One thing Miley has done a little more this year, he's always had a pretty good ground ball rate, and recently it's been better than ever. He's over 50% in that department.
That's what he'd be looking for right here. Instead, he gets that.
Strike 3 called, and that is out number 1.
Just a perfectly spotted up fastball on the inside corner as he continues to work these Rays right-handed hitters out and in. And he buries this one. Castillo. That ball right on the inside corner. Trevor Plouffe does not like it.
Miller takes it down, 1-0. Four homers, 22 runs batted in for the Rays' designated hitter. It's a liner into center. That's going to get down for a base hit. One hop in front of Adam Jones. Jones tried to size that one up, wondering if he might have a chance if it would carry, but it did not.
It wasn't even a full swing there by Brad Miller. He was just able to catch a little breaking ball there, get underneath it, line it into center. See him right here. That leg kick, here he comes. Just makes solid contact.
2 on for the Rays with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Manny Machado, his lifetime mark 3 of 9 against Miley. And there's strike 1.
Well, this is what has really hurt the Rays in the 5-game slide, is runners in scoring position. The batting average has not been good, have just not been able to come up with the big hit. And here's another chance.
Upstairs, 1-1. Well, here's the breakout on that for the Rays during this losing streak, averaging a little over 2.5 runs a game and hitting only 128 with men in scoring position. That and the bullpen ERA. Those 2 critical issues for the Rays recently. There's a base hit into right field. Rickard will charge it. Souza Jr. will stop at 3rd, and the bases are loaded. 3 hits in the inning, and the bases are full of Rays base runners with 1 out.
How many big hits has Echeverria had for the Rays to right field here in the last couple of weeks? I'll tell you, he's got that stroke down. You're going to pitch him away or go away from him. He's fine. Just stay inside the baseball, let it travel into the zone, and then shoot it the other way. That is textbook right there by the Rays shortstop. And now bases are juiced.
Malik Smith. It's a big opportunity for the Rays early in this game. Smith, after the first pitch, fouls it. Down at 3rd, Souza. Miller at 2nd. Echeverria, the runner, at 1st. A good look at that one. It's 1-1. Smith hitting .292 overall and 9 of 28 from the left-handed hitter against the lefty pitcher. So he's hitting .321 against lefties. And there's a line drive base hit into center. Another hit against a left-hander. Souza scores. The Rays take the lead, and the bases remain loaded. Malik Smith shoots it right back through the middle on a line, and the Rays are out in front.
And both hits by the lefties have come off of the slider, and the slider right now for Wade Miley is extremely flat. Not a lot of movement to it, and certainly no sharp movement. It's kind of a rolling breaking ball. And look at how this just kind of floats right into the middle of the plate. You cannot put that on a tee better for a hitter. And Malik Smith takes it right back up the middle, much like Brad Miller. And the Rays with 4 hits and their first run.
Well, here is Jesus Sucre. He lets a fly ball into right. Rickard's going to have to go back to make the catch. Tag at 3rd. Miller will score. Over to 3rd goes Echeverria, and Sucre with a fly ball to right makes it a 2-0 ball game. So the 8th and 9th hitters provide the runs for the Rays so far tonight. '24th run batted in for Sucre. Smith still at 1st. Echeverria at 3rd. And here's the top of the order, Tim Beckham. Alex back in, reaching down to take that peg. Mancini. Pitches down to Beckham. Sucre has been something. You know, great numbers with men in scoring position, and with runners at third and under 2 outs, runners have scored 7 of 9 times with him up there at the plate.
He simplifies his approach. I mean, he understands that more times than not.
Fly ball back into deep center field. Jones will go back deepest part of the park, and that one's gone. Jones ran out of room right into the triangle as Beckham hits it out. A 3-run blast, and suddenly the Rays explode for 5. Home run number 12 for Beckham. A 1-0 pitch, and boy, did he get hold of that one. A 5-run inning and a 3-run home run by Beckham to cap it so far.
Well, a changeup left right out over the middle of the plate, and Tim Beckham not fooled at all. He got underneath it, he let it carry, and he got it out of here, and the Rays all over Miley here in the 2nd inning.
Here's Peter Borges shooting one foul the other way. Out of play, strike 1. Boy, that ball exploded off Beckham's bat. One and one.
Well, that's the only off-speed pitch that Wade Miley had any success with, was the changeup to right-handed hitters. The slider, not where he wants it. Fastball, he's not been able to consistently locate, and so he threw that changeup. Worst one of the evening here so far, and Tim Beckham, you could see by the swing, he was not fooled at all. Even with the leg kick, he was right on that pitch.
Now ball 3 to Borges, and it's 3-1 to the Rays center fielder. There's a line shot caught by Scope. A few steps into center field to retire the side. Hard hit ball by Borges. And a long one off the bat of Tim Beckham to top off this inning. A shot to center with 2 men on, and the Rays have a 5-0 lead. Inning, we go to the 3rd, 5-0. Tim Beckham belting the home run. His last 2 home runs off a couple of lefties. Hit one earlier in the month up at Wrigley off John Lester. And now this one from Wade Miley.
And you just wonder what's going through the head of Wade Miley. We showed what his season has looked like so far. And when you have a 9-game stretch where your ERA is over 10, and in 3 of those starts you couldn't get out of the 3rd inning, and you're on the verge of maybe that happening again, that is a tough place to be.
And now the pitch here to Rickard, 2-0, and the challenge for Faria is to find his command. He has not been quite as sharp as he would like to be so far, and he's been handed a 5-run lead. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
We saw a little bit of that his last time out against Oakland. That was the first time that we've really seen him come out of his delivery for prolonged stretches where Jim Hickey'd have to go out there and try to get him back in line just a little bit.
Fly ball center field. Borges got a good jump, and he is there to make the catch just as he approached the warning track.
I will say this, that happens to every pitcher. I don't care who you are. There are going to be times during the course of a season, during the course of a game, where your delivery gets a little bit out of whack. The thing that Jake Faria has going for him is his mechanics are so directional, linear, and simple that if they do start to get out of whack, the fix should be pretty quick and easy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we all noticed early with him, his mechanics and how basic they are, and for the reason you mentioned.
He starts off a little bit off center, just a little tap, leg, and go.
And Jones lines it, boy, he stays hot. Ball up on Smith, and Jones a hard hit line drive to left. He came into this series very hot last night, 3 hits including a home run, and that base hit was hot off his bat.
Extends that hitting streak to 8 games. And I'll tell you, the Buck Showalter move of putting him at the top of the order paying off for him, paying off for the rest of this lineup. Jonathan Scope has gotten hot during that time frame.
Manny Machado. It's a strike at the knees. Jones came in hitting over 350 in the 11 games since the All-Star break when they made that move. So this is game 12, and he's 1 for 2 tonight. One and one. Foul ball. Cut by Machado. Off speed. Now it's 1 and 2. Center field. Borges is there on the run, makes a nice catch. You know, he got a great jump on the ball Rickard hit, and again right there on Machado. It covered some ground in a hurry and a great direct route.
You could not have a misstep as hard as this ball was hit. Now, the one thing that he had going in his favor, you're shading in that direction, but that being said, you cannot hesitate for a second, split second, and you cannot make a false move, because that ball by Machado was absolutely crushed. And Borges got over there and made that look pretty easy.
And he continues to show what an important pickup that was this spring. He has been very good defensively, as I think everyone expected, and he's gotten some timely hits. Jonathan Scope swings through that one. So when you can run him out there as they have tonight, changing the lineup a little bit against a lefty, and you get that kind of defense, and we've seen 2 examples of it right here in the same inning. Too close to scope. 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. Change up. Now it's 2 outs with a runner at first, and Faria ahead in the count. Swinging and a miss. He goes up with the fastball above the zone to get him to chase. 1 hit and a man left. Rays lead 5-0. Nothing. Evan Longoria will lead it off. Rays have been making a splash all summer and trying to get back to that here, snapping a 5-game losing streak, they hope. Kids can get a chance to dive in next Sunday when the Rays take on the Brewers. Kids 14 and under receive swim goggles presented by 7-Eleven. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. First pitch to Evan is a strike call. Those things will come in handy. Well, that's a great idea. Something that's practical and will be sought after by the youngsters. 0-2.
The finishing kick before it'll be time to head back to school. So take advantage of that second half of summer.
One ball, 2 strikes. Longoria, Souza Jr. and Plouffe due up. That's a foul. Into the screen it goes. Evan with a couple career home runs off Wade Miley. Got to him for 5 runs, 5 hits, including a 3-run home run by Beckham in the second. Pitch, fastball in on him, and he fouls it. Smiley, 30-year-old lefty out of Louisiana, born in Hammond in the New Orleans area. roller foul. 1-2. Started with Arizona in 08. They drafted him, and he won 16 games for the Diamondbacks in 2012.
We've seen good stuff from him. We've seen good outings from him against the Rays. You know, the fastball we've seen tonight sitting at 91, 92, up to 94. Good breaking ball right there. The slider has not been what he wants, but it's been the command issues. And a lot of that has started by he's had the tendency to work from outside in. Nibble for the corner, miss. Nibble for the corner, miss. Well, now you're 2-0. Now you have to come over the plate. So you work outside in. That's a bad combo. And that is what really has led to his rough second half of the season so far.
This is in with a fastball, and it's 2-2. You know, the concepts are so simple when you talk about them.
Yeah.
Try to execute.
That's the thing.
This is not easy.
Yeah. But the thing is this. A lot of it too can be traced to mindset.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Of course you have to execute, but the mindset of trying to be so careful with pitch one, you miss. You set pitch two. Well, now you go, well, now I'm gonna attack here. Well, 2-0 sometimes not a very good count to attack in.
And a swing and a miss. That ball popping out of the mid from Castillo. So it took 10 pitches, and Longoria is out on strikes.
And that's where, as a pitching coach, you've got to be able to diagnose your pitcher. And he's able to get him here in almost looked like he threw a cutter there, not quite a slider, a cutter down and in. But you have to be able to diagnose with your pitcher and say, is it just a pure lack of execution, or is maybe there a mindset that needs to be tweaked just a little bit? Is there a lack of confidence that's leading to nibbling? Because a lot of times they go hand in hand. So that's where you got to know your staff, and that's how you then try to go about fixing the problem.
Steven Susie Jr. Did he go? A check swing. That's ball one. Well, that's where we talk about, for example, taking a pitch and being fully committed to a pitch. It's like the confidence of what you're doing. If there's any little crack in there, that gives the opposition an edge that you don't want to give up. Ground ball sharply hit to Machado down at third. So 2 outs in the third inning. Strikeout and a ground out.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long for the opposition to pick up on that. You know, hey guys, he's nibbling. He's afraid to challenge us. He's afraid to come out over the plate. That gives a little boost to the offense. You know, you're as a pitcher, you're working in a lot of deep counts, a lot of bad counts.
Yeah, hitters they're quicker to get to the plate.
Yeah, they're fighting at the bat rack. You've heard that phrase before.
Yep. Well, here's Plouffe. Which is down 1-0. Nothing.
He's definitely come out here with a little bit of a cut fastball second time through, something that we have not seen a whole lot from him. Right there. It's a nasty pitch. Watch those fingers right on the side of the baseball.
In off the plate with the fastball. 3-1. Brad Miller on deck. And that is ball 4. 2-out walk. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Rays baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Rays home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, and a lot more. Download MLB.com at bat tonight. Here's Brad Miller. It's a one-hopper handled by Scope from short right field. Throw to first in time. Rays lead one. On to the fourth. It's 5-0 Tampa Bay. break brought to you by T-Mobile. How about the surging Kansas City Royals when the Rays saw them back in right at the end of the first week in May? The Rays dropped 3 out of 4. They started that series 10-20, and since then the Royals are 41-27, and they've just pushed themselves right into the wild card conversation. Trumbo swings and misses for a strike. Take a look at this. They are now in that second wild card spot, ahead of the Rays with this stretch. They've gone to 51-47. The Rays 51-49. And Kansas City out in front 3-0. Merrifield opened that game with a home run at Detroit, and Kansas City gone on to take a 3-0 lead. Merrifield homering off Fulmer. And a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Mark Trumbo completely fooled by that changeup from Jake Faria, way out in front, out of the hand, sells out for the heater, and it just never got there.
Remember the first at bat, that fastball that was by him. So he struck him out on the fastball first time and has him way out in front there.
It was not even able to pick up the tumbling action of the pitch. Just, you know, that just goes to show you, we talk often about how hitters hate getting beat with the fastball, especially in. So you get beat with the fastball up and in, and then you're like, not again, not again. You are not getting me there again. And Jake was like, okay, try something else. And that's how he had him so far out in front, because he was sold out for the heater.
And you know, that's one thing we talked about. Here's Faria facing Baltimore for the 3rd time. He had those back-to-back performances, and he really doesn't overload necessarily on any of his pitches. There's a strike to Mancini, and it's 1-2. He's got a pretty good variation of usage going as well.
He mixes well. You know, a lot of fastball, slider against the righties, but the split you've got to look out for. Not too many curveballs as you see right there. That's something you don't see a ton of, and that's how 9th start of your big league career, you're facing a team for a 3rd time. You're going to give them a few different looks here and there. So the curveball, rarely used against righties. He goes with it here, and he gets them. That's picking a perfect spot.
I mean, he just breaks that out. You're right. You know, he uses that total 4 or 5% of the time.
Yeah,
and you know, he's
no, yeah,
but here it is.
No, I mean, he's maybe thrown, you'd probably count him on one hand against right-handed hitters so far.
Yep.
And so he does that, and now, you know, guys are going back to the dugout. What was that? Well, that was a curveball. Oh, he's throwing that now to righties. That's how you tweak your game plan just a little bit without veering from the core principles that has given you the success against this team. You just along the fringe, you just mix in a few different things to make this team think, and that's what they're doing right now.
That's a strike. 0-2. He's feeling it now.
Well, you're watching him and you're seeing a pitcher that's one step ahead of the hitter, one step ahead of the offense.
Struck out Trumbo on the change, Mancini on the curve. 0-2 to Seth Smith, and a bouncer by the mound, and right there the toss to first by Longoria, who was over there on the right side. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. There's the strikeout of Trumbo, followed by Mancini, and the chopper by Smith. It's 5-0 Rays. in to hit in the bottom of the 4th inning against Wade Miley. Danny Echeverria leads it off. Bottom 3 in the order. Smith and Sucre to follow. Pitch is a ball a bit inside. Echeverria now up to 272. Gets his back foot out of there. 2-0. With that base hit in the 2nd inning, he's 10 of his last 30 now. And not known for the bat nearly as much as he is his defensive work, which is outstanding.
Well, he started off swinging the bat well for the Rays and then went into a little bit of a slide, and then here recently swinging the bat a lot better, but he's using right field an awful lot.
3-1.
I'll tell you something else. I haven't seen a left-handed starter pound right-handers in at a higher rate than Wade Miley. Maybe go back to like Andy Pettit with that super cutter.
Pop foul, and this one out of the reach of Mancini. He made a catch earlier on the ball, popped up in foul ground by Peter Borges, and got to that one, reaching into the Rays dugout and right over by the railing again, and just short.
Right off the edge of his glove.
Three and two now. And a line drive caught by Scope. So that'll be the first out in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's time to check in with Alex Cordray. Alex, how are you?
Hello there, Dwayne. Doing well, thanks. Now, veteran catcher Wilson Ramos is on the bench for tonight's game, but he is expected to start tomorrow. It was a scary moment in the 5th inning on Monday. He suffered a laceration on his head that received 6 staples to repair the wound. Ruben Tejada broke his bat, and the barrel hit Ramos on the helmet. But the players shook hands before today's game, which is always nice to see, Dwayne.
Yeah, it is, and it's good to see that the injury was not any worse than it was. In fact, at the time, Ramos, who, as you see there, has 6 staples to close that laceration, was asking about the possibility of staying in if the laceration wasn't too big, and they said, no, you're leaving.
We made the comment when he went to the bench and got a shot of him sitting in the Rays dugout that he looked annoyed that he had come out of the game, and that's absolutely the truth. And then you find out later 6 staples to close that thing down, and he's wondering when he can get back in the lineup. I mean,
chop to Scope. Well, they're talking, you know, a day or two.
He'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he has his way. Day game after a night game, Skip.
Yeah.
Sucre,
yeah.
2.5 games or 1.5 games. I got this. So we'll see. He's a big, strong man. Showed no ill effects, and he got cracked pretty good. Barrel end of that bat coming straight down on that helmet and causing that gash. I saw Jim Palmer down there trying to get a gander at it.
Yep. Jim's everywhere.
He really is. He's in and out of our booth.
Yep.
How many times?
3 or 4, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8.
You guys had another classic exchange.
It's always fun.
Where he asks you a question, you start to answer, then he starts to talk while you're continuing with your answer.
Gave him a ride to the hotel last night. That was fun.
That's too
Locked
good.
doors, small enclosed area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. 2-1 the count on Sucre. Well, I had to return the favor. He did that when we were in Baltimore, got me back to the hotel. So I thought it's only right.
Yep.
This pitch is now ball 3, 3-1. You know, if we did a talk show with him, all we'd have to do is show up. He'd do all the heavy lifting. Might be a good deal for us.
You know what? Yeah. You're not kidding. I'd just be the announcer. Invite the guest in.
Yeah.
And then Jim goes to work.
There he is. There, good looking tie. and his partner, one of the greatest guys. Those two guys, Gary Thorne over there and Jim Palmer, you can't wait when we play the Orioles to see those guys.
That's absolute fact. We get to travel around and get to meet and talk with a lot of great crews, and they are right at the top of the list. With Gary Thorne, it's funny. His voice, I hear his voice. I'm not thinking baseball. I'm thinking hockey. His voice takes me back to hockey. It's incredible how that can happen.
Strike on Beckham. A guy hailing from Maine. He worked on that Mets crew originally when I was in Chicago. He'd come in with Mets radio. That was great. Foul ball back.
I'll tell you, you start to look back over the course of your guys' career, all the years in this game, the different things that you've gotten to see in the different cities that you've gotten to see them in, people that you've gotten to work with, meet. Pretty awesome.
But no days as great as the present.
Yeah, I like today. Today was good for me. I'll take it.
Yeah, we've all been blessed beyond our wildest dreams, no question about that. Beckham out on strikes, tried to hold up. A walk and a man left, and we are through 4 with the Rays leading 5-0. By your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, what a great sunset that's going to be out there over the Gulf.
Well, yeah, that is top notch.
Look at that. We go to the 5th here at the Trop. Wellington Castillo leads it off.
I'll be back.
Hold your chair open. 1-0 the count here to Castillo.
Maybe they could patch Jim in and you and Gary just work around it.
Just wouldn't be the same. Now 2-0, Castillo, Tejada, and Rickard. Well, Faria has been good in his pitch count. Made 21 pitches in the second, but all the other innings have been pretty good. Fouls this one back. 2-1.
Well, you'll remember back that first inning, the command not quite there. Second inning, same type of thing. But since then, boy, he has gotten on a run, and I think, as you put it very well, he's feeling it right now, and you can see that how he's just able to stay ahead of this lineup, one pitch at a time.
This one lined into left. That's going to drop. Softly hit out there to left, and Smith with the pickup. Castillo is aboard to open the inning.
Number 17.
You're trying to miss bats, and if you're not able to miss the bat, miss the barrel, and even so, you're going to give up some hits every now and then. And Castillo soft serves that one into left field to get this inning started.
Ruben Tejada, he had a good at bat. You know, his first time up, batted bad in the second inning. We talked about Faria trying to focus in and get to where he wanted to with his command. And that's the inning when he opened, giving up the base hit to Mancini and then walked Smith, got a double play ball on a 3-2 pitch to Castillo. And then Tejada had a great at bat, and he finally got him. And that sort of propelled him into a very good third and fourth inning.
That was a bad inning. I mean, that was shaping up to be a real rough inning for the Rays. And you're right. Get that double play ball.
Very close.
How'd that miss him?
I was going to say the same thing. I don't know how it did not hit him.
Ruben Tejada jackknifed. He jackknifed in the batter's box.
Wow, that's as close as you can come and not at least nip the jersey. One and one to count.
The human protractor.
Pops it up. Left field. Smith makes the call and the catch. Tejada's retired. Well, and I'm sure you could speak to this, but that at bat that we talked about for Tejada in the second inning, it was a good battle between Faria and Tejada. And Faria wanted, and sometimes one at bat like that can make a big difference in a pitcher's night.
It settles you down, and you're right. You're absolutely right, because if you go back and rebuild that inning, you know, Mancini, a great job of shooting the ball the other way, and then all of a sudden a walk to Seth Smith on 5 pitches, and then you fall behind Castillo 3-1, and you've had some bad misses in that at bat. You come back and all of a sudden you deliver one pitch, a ground ball to Longoria, boom, boom, and now you can take a deep breath and say, wow, after all of that, I'm almost out of this inning. And really, it does allow you to regroup a little bit, and sometimes can spur you right along. That's exactly what it's done.
Rickard hits this one into short left. A diving attempt by Malik Smith, can't get it. The ball backed up there by Borges. Well, a great effort there. And again, Rickard, who's had some success against Faria, didn't hit the ball all that well, but got it in there for a base hit.
See a part of that bat come loose. A little piece chipped off, and Malik Smith giving it everything he can. He can afford to do that here as he ends up just about a foot short. He's got good backup behind him in Borges. So it's not going to be one of those, you know, gets by him and all of a sudden it becomes a track meet, everybody running around the bases. Calculated risk, it didn't happen, and now you move on to the next hitter, and Adam Jones is swinging a pretty good bat.
2 men on, 1 out. Jones 1 for 2. An 8-game hitting streak now. Ground ball, that will be knocked down by Echeverria. That'll be a base hit. The ball rolling away from the Rays shortstop. Castillo had eyes about trying to make the turn at third and head to the plate, but when Echeverria got a glove on that, all of that changed and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, you know, you can imagine Castillo challenging the arm of Malik Smith, but Echeverria makes that a moot point, showing great range and just getting the glove on it. Keep it close. Now you've got the force out at any base, and Wellington Castillo forced to hang right there at third base.
Well, Manny Machado with the bases loaded and 1 out. Three hits on 3 pitches that were not hit all that well, but all of a sudden the bases are loaded. Machado hit the ball hard in the third. And it's out in front and over the changeup. 1-1. Machado doubled up the left field line in the first and then victimized by a good catch from Borges in center in the third.
This pitch right there to get back to even in the count.
One. Fly ball center field. Borges will be there to make the catch. Tag at third. Castillo will score. Also advancing, Rickard goes from second to third. Machado drives in a run with a fly ball, and it's 5-1.
You trade that all day. Trade that all day long. Manny Machado's hit the ball hard. You talk about the double, that rocket that he hit out to center field that Borges was able to run down. So very dangerous hitter at the plate that's seeing the ball well off of you. Bases loaded, 1 out, sac fly. Get this hitter right here, and you're none the worse for wear.
Well, Jonathan Scope 0 for 2 so far tonight. Came into the game 0 for 5 against Faria. Hitting over 300 for the year with 21 home runs. First pitch is a strike, a fastball in there. Down in, out of the zone. 1-1. Scope has continued to make steady progress in a Baltimore uniform since he first came up in 2013, just for a handful of at-bats. 2014, his first full year. He's gotten better each year. This one popped up. Echeverria. Now Beckham, and Beckham in short center out from second makes the catch. The damage limited to 1 run, and it's 5-1 Rays. A great moment. It was on this day back in 2005. The Devil Rays beat Boston, a walk-off 10th inning shot off the bat of Aubrey Huff. Double against Kurt Schilling, driving in Jorge Cantu for the game-winning run. Billy Hatcher Rays coach all excited there. Toby Hall in that shot. I think Travis Lee was even in that shot. First pitch to Peter Borges is down. Bottom of the 5th inning underway, 1-0. Two balls and no strikes to count. Rays tonight facing Wade Miley. They have 5 runs, 5 hits, and all of that came in the 2nd inning. Look out. Longoria on deck, and he had to skip rope to get out of the way of that one. We're just short of the on deck circle over there where Evan waits to hit next.
Well, yeah, you feel like you're pretty safe where Evan is, but I'll tell you, a ball right off the edge of the bat. That's why no matter where you are here at the ballpark, you got to keep your eyes focused in on that delivery, home plate.
3-1 now. Ball approached by Tejada, the shortstop, who makes the play.
You know, I think that that's something that would serve Wade Miley well. Now, we haven't seen all of his starts, and tonight's game plan could be a little different, but he's a guy that loves to pitch in against right-handed hitters. And, you know, that's all well and good when done, you know, with some discretion. But it seems like, you know, he'll come in and 5, 6, 7 pitches in a row in on a righty. And that is a pitch, that is a high risk, high reward pitch. And there's a lot that can go wrong in there. And I'm a big advocate, love pitching in. Love pitching in. I pitched in a lot and I didn't even have his fastball. But you pick your spots. Yeah. You can't live in there. You know, a lot of times that's a tough pitch to get called for a strike. And therefore you lead you to bad counts. And then if you do try to go in there and it leaks back middle, those are the pitches that get hit for extra bases. You know, those aren't singles, those are doubles and home runs.
Well, if you stay in there too long, you run the risk of getting hurt in a big way.
Yeah.
But pitching away even makes coming in more efficient and more valuable.
Back and forth. You let a hitter know that you're willing to pitch in. And then all of a sudden it opens up the outside part of the plate for you a little bit better. You know, and conversely, you get a hitter, you know, thinking about out over the plate, and all of a sudden you come in. But if you're just living on one side or the other, that's tough. That's a tough way to pitch.
Well, you get hitters, and they'll tell you the ground ball foul, just foul, 3-2. You know, hitters will kind of zone the plate and the strike zone, and if you continue in that one area, and as you point out, it's a high risk, high reward, high risk, and they're looking in there and you're not letter perfect, then good luck.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like I said, those pitches, you know, when they take them, you know, the fastball in, how often is that thing getting called for a strike? I mean, you've got to be perfect in there. Same way, if you're going to be a pitcher that lives on the outer half and not ever come in, and I can think of a couple of guys that I've played, you know, with, have seen pitch like that. Well, it forces you to be perfect away, because it doesn't take very long for the hitters to go, guys, he's not coming in at all. So they're up there in the batter's box just looking to dive across the plate and put big swings, you know, on your pitches. So it forces you to be perfect out there. And even if you are, you're going to give up some hits just by virtue of the fact that you only stay in one area.
3-2, and that's ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Longoria heads to first. Super Rays fans assemble. Next Saturday, the Rays take on the Brewers for an interleague matchup, and the first 15,000 fans receive a Rays-themed Marvel Iron Man figurine presented by Crown Automotive Group. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Steven Souza Jr. He opened the 5-run 5th with a base hit, scored the first run of the night. One bouncing, and it hits him. Bounces off Souza. So he is hit by a pitch and will head to first. And that pushes Longoria into second.
Now another cutter. Cuts that one down and in. Right off the toe.
First and second, one away for Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe has struck out and walked. Came into the game hitting 190 with a home run in a Rays uniform. 8 home runs overall this year, combined with the Athletics and the Rays. Ground ball moves Tejada to his right, out at second, and out at first for the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. We have completed 5 innings, and the Rays hold a 5-1 lead as we head into the 6th. The second inning when Steven Souza Jr. led off the inning with a base hit. Malik Smith singled home the first run, and after a fly ball got the other one home. Tim Beckham belted the home run to center field. A 3-run blast to cap a 5-run inning. Jake Correa making the start and has gone through 5 innings with 4 strikeouts, or 5 now. Walked 1 and given up 1 hit, and set to go into the 6th inning with Mark Trumbo taking the first pitch for a strike.
I mean, how dependable has this guy become? It really is remarkable. I think we were all wondering exactly what Jake Correa was going to give the Rays when he was called up to make a start. I don't think that his, staying here long term was something that was taken for granted, was a given.
I think you're right. Borges makes the catch on Trumbo's fly ball, 1 away.
But now you look and say, give this kid the ball. I mean, give this kid the ball. First 7 starts were all quality starts, 6+ innings. He's given up 1 earned run or fewer in 5 of his starts so far, making 6 if this holds. It's been pretty remarkable to watch how consistent he's been, unflappable that he's been at such a young age.
Pitch to Mancini is down. His numbers are interesting, and there is a trend. He started last year at AA and was promoted to AAA and put up better numbers at AAA than he had at AA. This year he starts at AAA, gets to the big leagues, and has put up better numbers overall in the major leagues than he did at AAA. So the higher the classification, the better his performance.
Well, and people say, well, listen, slow your roll. This is just his 9th start, in the major leagues, and I totally understand that. I totally get that. But what usually you mean by that is once you get through the league a couple of times, we'll see. This is his 3rd start against the Orioles.
Yep.
3rd start. And at this point, it's the best of the 3. He's continued to throw the ball better against a lineup that can really do some damage if you're not pretty good with your command and location.
Behind Mancini now, 3-1 with 1 out in the 6th inning. And a shot into left field. Smith will go to the wall, and that one is gone. Just over the yellow line and into the stands. 16th home run for Mancini. And that makes it a 5-2 game. Mancini's 2nd hit of the game.
Yeah, he did a nice job of shooting the ball into right field his first time up, and now he's going to get a fastball 3-1. You see where Sucre is set up for the outside corner. That ball ends up middle in, and Mancini showing that ability to get the hands close to the body through the zone quickly, and that means barrel to baseball.
Now liner into center off the bat of Smith, and Borges is there to grab that one, pick it right out of the air. 2 gone. Base is empty. Here's the catcher, Wellington Castillo. Home run by Mancini is the 5th allowed by Faria. It's a strike to Castillo. One other thing about Faria, he's just given up a home run, and he appears to be able just to put that completely behind him and go right back after the next couple hitters, and he makes a nice little play there on the comebacker. Castillo's out of there, a run on the homer. Bottom of inning 6 coming, 5-2 Tampa Bay. Mutual player profile. Jonathan Scope, just 25 years old. And what a second baseman and hitter he is turning out to be for the Baltimore Orioles. An all-star, hit 25 home runs last year, has 21 already this year. And we've talked about that double play they turned last night. Started by Machado down at third, but look at Scope in the middle of this double play.
He catches the ball with his foot on the bag.
And that's just incredible. That in athleticism from Machado to Scope in turning that double play, one of the best double plays I have ever seen turn. And the fact that he's up there stuck on the top of that bag with one leg and still is able to get enough on the throw to complete the play. Wow.
Brad Miller fouls it out of play. Strike one. The Scope out of Curacao. In fact, he was on their championship team in the Little League World Series back in 2004 and came on to post the save in the final game pitching. Eventually signed as a free agent by Baltimore, and as we discussed him earlier, he's just gotten better and better with each year. 2-1. We got a quick look at Miguel Castro down in the bullpen for Baltimore. We're reaching for that one and kept moving away from him. 2-2. Echeverria will be next. And then Malik Smith too. Rays coming in. Going to shake a 5-game losing streak. You get to 4 or 5 games, you start to get the questions about, well, is this the beginning of the end? And I like some of the responses Kevin Cash had. He said, look, we will win another game. We're going to win again. And that's the only way you can approach it. Nobody's happy with what's happened here, but he has confidence that this group. There's a strike 3 call on Brad Miller. A little discussion going with Hunter Wendelstedt right now. So he's caught looking. But pitch again.
Yeah, maybe just off the edge, pretty close. You see the view there from up top, but Brad Miller is livid at somebody, and I don't know if it's Hunter Wendelstedt.
Swings through it. Strike 1. Echeverria did not go on ball. It's 1-1. One out, base is empty. Looked it into the left. Smith a few steps back. 2 outs. Don't forget, every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1. Malik Smith steps in with the bases empty and 2 down. Strike 1. It's a bunt, and that's a fair ball, says Hunter Wendelstedt, as it hits Malik Smith, and as he tried to bunt his way on, he is called out, and Kevin Cash wants to have a conversation with Hunter Wendelstedt, and it appears to be rather quick. So on the bunt attempt, Smith puts it down. And that ball up and hits him. And that's going to be the end of the inning. On to the 7th. Rays Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays continue their homestand. Baltimore Orioles in here. Second game of this 3-game series. Jacob Faria has worked 6 innings, allowing 2 runs on 7 hits, 83 pitches, 5 strikeouts and a walk. Rays trying to rebound after being swept by Texas and dropping the first game to the Orioles last night, being shut out 5-0. And we move into the 7th. 8, 9, and 1 due up. Tejada, Rickard, and then Adam Jones. Want to know the count. Tejada is grounded to third, lifted a fly ball into left, and sends this one into short center. Borges is there to make the catch. 1 away.
Well, it's getting late. Faria's still out there, as you see Tommy Hunter starting to warm up in the bullpen, and I'll tell you, getting that leadoff hitter out, especially when you're talking about the bottom of the order. Don't even allow this Baltimore lineup to think they're going to be able to climb back in it.
Rickard singled in the 5th. That's when they scored their first run. Strike call. Baltimore with a run in the 5th, another run in the 6th. All 5 runs for the Rays came in the 2nd inning. Oh, 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Pop to the right side. Plouffe is after it down toward the bullpen, and he makes a nice catch of that first baseman's mitt. 2 outs in the 7th. Rays pitchers strike out 10 hitters during a game here at Tropicana Field. Visit CanesStrikeout.com and pick up the printed home voucher to take to any Canes furniture store within 7 days and receive a coupon for a free Whopper sandwich combo meal from Burger King. 2 outs, bases empty. Adam Jones has 2 hits, 2 for 3. Tap to third. Glove by Evan Longoria, and the throw to first in time. It's 7th inning stretch time at the ballpark, and the Rays lead 5-2. We welcome you back to Tropicana Field. A game summary. The Rays put up a 5 spot in the 2nd. Lead 5-2 moving into the bottom of the 7th inning. Jake Faria has given the Rays another outstanding outing. 7 innings for the 23-year-old right-hander. And right around 90 pitches. So he's thrown a lot of strikes tonight. Wade Miley started for Baltimore, and now he gives way to Miguel Castro. And his first pitch to Sucre is a ball.
Miguel Castro on for the 20th time. He's worked 25 innings, 12 strikeouts, 6 walks, and you saw by that first pitch, lanky, and boy, can he whip that ball in there. That slider at 85, the fastball was at 99. A tremendous arm.
22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic.
You talk about creating some leverage.
And a pop up on the infield coming over from first. Mancini. Yeah, that's just overpowering. Well, the cold hard fact tonight brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Jim Beckham unloading a home run in the 2nd inning. How about this for the Rays? 68 consecutive games with an extra base hit now. And, you know, you look at the Pirates and the Astros with their lineup 56, with the Rays 68, and Beckham took care of that with his 12th home run of the year. This is the ball at 98. A lot of hard stuff from Castro. Cut and a miss on the slider.
Yeah, 6 feet 7 inches tall, and he has that arm angle, not quite 3/4, a little bit lower than that. That allows him to really whip the fastball up there with good arm action and a fast hand out front and sweep the breaking ball. Just like that.
Yes. It's 2 of those back to back.
The arm speed that he's able to generate, and with that arm angle, you're just going to naturally get some good side to side movement, and you've got to make a decision quickly whether or not you're going to swing.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Closer look at this delivery.
A little bit of a turn right there to gain a little momentum. And then you see him just coming right downhill. Just that little bit of twist, some deception, and some added torque towards home plate. The key with a delivery like that is you always want to make sure that you don't over rotate and that you gather yourself before you start to move towards home plate. You know, you over rotate, and then as you're coming back, you start to swing instead of drive towards home plate. And he does a nice job of a little bit of a twist, but then as he starts to move towards his target, you see it right there. Now gather and right towards home plate.
He misses at 96. The count is full.
And you get the feeling with his arm, with his velocity, the action on the fastball, the breaking ball, that the Rays are going to see an awful lot of this guy the next few years.
A little tap, and that's fouled right off his foot. So Beckham will walk that one off. Try to. It's got padding, but sometimes that doesn't help as much as you'd like. The bat explodes out of the reach of Castro. Machado there, out the call, but he appeared to beat that one. Boy, that fastball ate up the bat. It just exploded. Andy Fletcher made the call at first, and the Rays will have that one looked at.
Yeah, I think he got there just in real time. We'll see, but that fastball, I mean, into shards. That ball got so far in. Manny Machado with the bare hand, nothing he could do but this. And let's see. Oh boy, no,
they might have gotten him.
They did.
Got him. How about that?
Boy, I thought that he was going to be safe, absolutely, but Manny Machado enough on the throw from a difficult angle, and it gets right into the interior of that glove, and I mean just in time.
Boy, another great play by Machado to get Beckham. So 2 gone. Here's Peter Borges. Ball, no strikes. Borges takes the fastball inside. That one at 98. It's 2-0. Castro originally signed by the Blue Jays. Just a bit wide on the slider, and it's 3-0. Ball 4. So with 2 outs, Borges walks, and that gets Evan Longoria to the plate. Well, tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show, it begins at 11:30, presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Alex Cobb on the hill for the Rays. We'll hear from the Rays starter, and the rest is we'll break down Evan Longoria, who walked in the 5th inning tonight, otherwise 0 for 2. He faces Castro. Ball, no strikes. Borges back to first. Wade Miley started, worked 6. We're in the 7th. Castro in his first inning. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike, and the throw is right on the money. Scope taking the throw, and Borges is out number 3 here in the 7th inning. And the Rays have a couple moments here to see if they want to do something about that call at second base. And Borges, boy, that was close, but he's out of there. Caught stealing. We go to the 8th. 5-2 Rays.
And the Rays lead this 5-2. And Jake Free, as he heads to the mound here to start the 8th inning, let's look at his body of work over the first 7. And he has been very, very good. The fastball riding it up and in on Jonathan Scope and Mark Trumbo, and doing the same thing to Scope once again, middle up. Then here comes the changeup. He has mixed his pitches very well, and on more than one occasion we have talked about the fact that it seems like he has been one step ahead of the Oriole hitters for the majority of the night. As you see, 7 innings, just 2 earned runs, 1 walk. And here we go for the 8th.
Manny Machado in there to lead off for Baltimore. This pitch upstairs starts him with a high slider. Machado has one of the runs batted in for Baltimore tonight. That was on a sacrifice fly in the 5th. His hit was a first inning double. This one is popped up, foul ball. Will Sucre have room? No, it's out of play. Just a few rows back into the field seats. Tommy Hunter continues to throw in the bullpen for the Rays. Jonathan Scope is on deck. Then Trumbo due up. Side 2-1. That's a strike fastball inside edge. 2-2. Correa facing the Orioles for the 3rd time this year. Faced him back-to-back at the end of June. And a swing, a little foul ball. The off-speed pitch, and just enough of it to hang in there for Machado. Scope on deck. Two again, and it's popped up this time. Chivaria's there for it. Came back to the changeup and popped him up. 1 out in the 8th. Correa at 96 pitches. Made 108 pitches. Was back against Baltimore. His high this year is 110. In fact, in the 2 games he pitched against the Orioles, he made 108 and 106 pitches. 96 at the moment. Swing and a miss.
And I think this says something about what Kevin Cash and how Kevin Cash feels about Jake Faria. You know, 7 strong innings, could have gone right to the bullpen right now with the 3-run lead, but he's going to send the rookie back out there. And he's trying to reward that faith. So far, so good.
Just missed on that one to Scope. It's 1-1. Down 2-1. His pitch count high was 110 against Detroit, and a couple starts ago against the Angels he made 110. 2-1. That's going to be a strike. It's now square. That pitch down around the knees has gone either way.
Trying to come right on the inside corner. That is a borderline pitch, and that goes Faria's way as he looks to end this AB.
Upstairs. And the count is full. This is the 5th 3-ball count of one short or another he's had. 3-2 now to Scope. It's foul right back, so we'll see it again. He went 3-1 with Smith in the 2nd when he battled a little bit. 3-2 to Castillo in the 2nd and 3-2 to Tejada. And since then, the only 3-ball count he had was to Mancini. 3-1. Mancini homered. And now 3-2 here to Scope. And he checks just in time and draws the walk. So here's the check swing, and Kevin Cash comes out with a man on and 1 out in the 8th. And that's going to be it for Jacob Faria. Another great job by the rookie right-hander. And he gets a good hand as he leaves. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. It's a 5-2 ball game right now. Florida Lottery presents the Family of the Week for Life scratch-offs with a top prize of $5,000 a week every week for the rest of your life. The longer you live, the more you keep winning. That's Winfinity. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. A line on Faria. He leaves with Scope at first, accountable to his line. Tommy Hunter takes over to face Mark Trumbo. Trumbo was 0 for 3 against Faria. And it's chopped to the right side. Beckham looks to second, but he'll take the out at first. Scope moves up a base, and Trumbo is out number 2.
It's all about collecting outs right here, and Tommy Hunter out for the 35th time. He's got 9 holds. He's got a sterling ERA of 174 and a nice strikeout to walk ratio, 36-8. He's one of the late inning options for Kevin Cash, trying to help lock this game down for Jake Faria as he continues his communication, the back and forth with Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach. Always learning, always teaching.
Trey Mancini. It's a strike, a breaking ball to start him. Mancini ahead 3-1 in the count in the 6th. Going to pitch in and lined it out to left. His 16th home run of the year. Pitch up, 1-1. Hunter pitched an inning and a third in the Sunday game against Texas. Nothing doing back at second. Down and away, 2-1. Rays haven't had a lot of opportunities with men in scoring position, but they've gone 3 for 4. And Baltimore 1 of 6. This is the base hit by Jones in the 5th. That's going to be a strike, and the count is 2-2. Fastball at 97. trying to get the final out and strand the runner here in the 8th. Two. Fouled up the other way and back into the stands. Second deck and back down again into the field level. Rays came in 4-6 in the season series against Baltimore. There's 1-3 here. Received a very good effort from Jake Faria again tonight, pitching 7 1/3. Mancini has collected 2 of the 7 Baltimore hits. Now we'll get together. Sucre heads to the mound.
Make sure they get this right. Big pitch here. Trying to get out of this inning. That will, regardless of this run comes around to score or not. Jake Faria guaranteed another quality start. That's now 8 out of 9 to start his career. And getting that opportunity to go out into the 8th inning, I think it's time for respect from his manager and trust. He certainly deserved it. He was efficient all night, had the pitch count under control, had this Baltimore Oriole lineup under control.
Now 3-2 on Mancini. Hunter's pitch, and he loses him. The breaking ball, 3-2. So that will put 2 men on with 2 men out, and Seth Smith will represent the potential tying run here. He walked his first time. Since then, has grounded out and lined out with a left-handed bat of Smith against Hunter. And look at those numbers. 5 of 8 with a home run against Tommy Hunter. Oh, and this one skips away all the way to the backstop, and the runners will advance. Sucre winds up with that one near the Baltimore dugout.
And down and in, and right off Hunter Wendelstedt's right leg. Deflects right off of that. Now Sucre's got to run it down. Now you got 2 runners in scoring position. A simple base hit makes this game really weird. And Tommy Hunter needs to bear down against a guy who's had his number so far.
Second and third, 2 outs. This threat has been built on 2 walks and a wild pitch. Inside, 2-0. Michael Gibbons up in the bullpen for the Orioles. And ball 3. So after that walk of Mancini, Hunter way behind Seth Smith. 3 balls, no strikes. Wellington Castillo is on deck. Now strike the outside edge. Tense spot here for Kevin Cash and the Rays, holding a 3-run lead. 2 men in scoring position. 3-1 the count to Smith, and he walks to load the bases. So Hunter has come on. gotten a ground ball from Trumbo, giving up a walk, a wild pitch, and another walk. And Jim Hickey will go to the mound with Castillo due up for Baltimore.
Well, right now the Rays a quiet bullpen, and so Jim Hickey and Kevin Cash need Tommy Hunter here to get things together and get out of this inning, and that's what he's out there reminding him how they're going to attack Wellington Castillo and telling them, listen, we need one out. That's it. Retire the hitter. All this is for naught. We regroup. 3 outs to go, but you got to make some pitches here.
Well, Castillo has 3 official at-bats in his career against Hunter. He's 1 for 3. And up now with the bases loaded. Single to open the 5th inning and scored a run. The pitch is a low fastball, ball 1. This threat on 3 bases on balls. Now strike. The breaking pitch in. And this one is fouled out of play. Fastball just humped up at 97. Challenged him with a fastball.
Well, you get to the point where you're like, enough's enough. I mean, if you're going to go down, let's just go down fighting.
Alex Colomé up in the bullpen for the Rays. He had just started to throw. One and 2. Here it is. Ground ball. That's a base hit into left. Scope's going to score. Here comes Mancini in to score. 2 runs cross the plate. And now it's 5-4. Castillo got the ground ball through the hole. 1 run charged to Faria. The other run charged to Hunter. And it's a 1-run game all of a sudden.
Trying to cut that ball to the outside corner, and it just stayed up. And good view here for Castillo, and he just finds open area to work with on the left side. And here comes the 2 runs, and how about that? The Oriole first hit of the inning comes in their 6th hitter of the inning. It's a single, and it drives in 2.
Young-Soo Kim will be the pinch hitter now. Kim hits for Tejada. He swings and misses the fastball. Strike 1. So 2 of the walks have scored. Smith at second, Castillo at first. Close there, 95. 1-1. Rays trying to break a 5-game losing streak, and the Orioles pushing the issue here in the 8th. Now 1-2 to Kim.
Hunter, the 2 swings and misses, able to overpower Kim. A little cutting action to it. See the uppercut swing. He's able to sneak it over the bat, and you would assume he's going to stay with that formula.
for Tejada. One, two. And that one is close. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Kim out on strikes to retire the side. Hunter gets Kim on strikes. The Orioles scored 2, and it's 5-4 Rays. Rays lead coming into hit in the bottom of the 8th. The Bonefish catch of the game. And more Baltimore defensive work, and that bat from Beckham shattered. And in came Machado again to make a great play. And just did get Beckham.
Boy, what he's able to get on his throws. The velocity in which he gets rid of the baseball.
Well, here we go into the bottom of the 8th. Evan Longoria leads off. And the pitch is a strike. He was at the plate when Borges was caught trying to steal to end the 7th inning. Johnny Giovatello takes over at second, and Jonathan Scope slides over to play shortstop. A 1-1 count now to Evan. 2-1. Rays scored 5 in the 2nd inning, and that has been it. The only time since then they've had a man in scoring position was in the 5th. It was on a walk and a hit batter. This one headed toward the corner into left. Just below the 3:15 marker, and Evans on his way to second with the leadoff double. Well, boy, that's something the Rays need. See if they can pick up the offense here in the bottom of the 8th. 26th double of the year for Longoria.
Well, Evan Longoria right here gets a fastball out over, and he is quick to the baseball, gets around it, and smokes that ball down into the corner. That's saying something with the velocity that Castro's going to give you.
First hit for the Rays since the 3-run home run by Beckham in the 2nd inning.
Boy, that is shocking. I knew there wasn't a whole lot of action, obviously, but looking down at the scorebook, not realizing that they have not had a hit since then. Well, hopefully they can turn that hit into a run or two. give themselves a little breathing room.
Steven Souza Jr. Pitch is down. 1-0. Souza opened the second inning with a base hit. Malik Smith has a run batted in. Jesus Sucre has one, and Beckham 3 on the second inning home run. Pitch popped into short center, and Scope out from shortstop there to make the catch. It's the first out.
Number 14, first baseman Trevor Plouffe.
Well, the Rays will have Trevor Plouffe up here. Plouffe 0 for 2 with a walk. Plouffe got the start against the lefty Wade Miley, and now stays on to hit against the right-hander Castro. Into the dirt and scooped out by Castillo.
Yeah, that was a heck of a backhand scoop. That ball was well wide of the plate and short, and there is zero margin for error here. Just kind of yanks this one into the dirt, and Castillo following it. And if that doesn't go as perfectly as it did, then the Rays have a runner at third now with 1 out.
Ball 2-0. Baltimore started this inning with Castro on the hill after he worked the 7th. They also started the inning with left-hander Donnie Hart throwing in the bullpen. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1.
Well, this is one of those situations where Kevin Cash, you're kind of looking at your options. The Rays obviously have the lead, but we talked about it earlier. Dickerson, Morrison sitting on the bench. You take Castro, Plouffe, Morrison, Donnie Hart.
Takes it inside. He's up in the count 3-1. They are both Morrison and Dickerson getting the night off. Foul ball. 3-2. Miller on deck. Bounce it toward the bullpen, and a nice backhanded pickup down there. That bullpen area, good souvenir spot.
That was a good point you made during the was that during Kids Sunday?
I think, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Go right down there.
Yes. Lots of chances.
Yep. 3-2 again, and a chop will be charged by Scope. Had a little trouble getting rid of it, but in time Longoria advances to third. So 2 outs with Brad Miller due up. Buck Showalter is headed toward the mound. He has Hart all set to come in from the bullpen. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. outs in the 8th inning. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by W.B. Mason. Another outstanding outing by Jake Faria, and Rich and Orestes will break it down. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and Alex Cordray providing interviews from the clubhouse. Donnie Hart, the new pitcher, and Wilson Ramos will come off the Rays bench to pinch hit, staples and all. 35th appearance for Hart. So with 6 staples in his head after sustaining that shot last night on a broken bat while he was catching. And now here he is pinch hitting against Hart. Rays trying to pick up an additional run, leading 5-4. He's swinging, bouncing it foul, strike one.
I think that could rank right up there, maybe right at the top of the list for my favorite Dwayne Stats invite to home plate to a hitter. And with 6 staples in his head, Wilson Ramos digs in.
It's a pretty amazing story here, especially if he can get this run home. Ball 1 strike. Well, here's what happened last night. He was catching, and that broken bat, Ruben Tejada had that bat break, and the barrel end of the bat got him. He wanted to stay in last night if that laceration had not been bleeding as much as it was. And as it turned out, it required the stitches to close on the staples. The ground ball down to first. Mancini will take that unassisted, and the Rays leave a man. We're going to go to the 9th with the Rays leading 5-4. Alex Colomé on one-run ball game as we move into the 9th inning. Baltimore with a 2-run 8th to close the gap, so it's 5-4. Alex Colomé, the Rays closer, makes his 43rd appearance after his 29th save. He has 28 in 32 attempts with a record of 2-3, and he'll face Joey Rickard to lead it off. Rickard is 1 for 3 tonight. Pitch is a strike.
Well, and with Adam Jones, Manny Machado, and Jonathan Scope looming, Joey Rickard, and retiring him to lead off this inning, of the utmost importance here for the Rays and Alex Colomé.
Yeah, there's Jones on deck, and then Machado. A little tap charged by Beckham, and the throw to first is wide, and that allows Rickard to reach. An off-balance throw after the pickup. And Rickard is indeed aboard.
An ominous way to start the top half of the 9th inning. There's a ground ball, pretty routine. Beckham makes the play, and that throw just sailed on him, sailed wide, and Plouffe could not get the tag back in time.
The 11th error of the year charged to Beckham.
Yep, and just with the hustling Rickard, he got past it.
Now it's Adam Jones. Jones 2 for 4. And a ground ball to third. Longoria, great stop. Out at second and out at first. And it all began on the pickup by Longoria at third. What a way to start a double play. On the ball hit by Adam Jones, and here it is again. Put a star by that one for Longoria.
I think Evan Longoria got tired of everybody talking about Manny Machado's defense in this series. And boy, he's made a couple of tough plays tonight, that being the best of the bunch and what the Rays desperately needed.
So Longoria picks up the Rays after the leadoff error, allowing Rickard to reach. A nifty double play indeed. Now 2 gone with the bases empty, and Manny Machado is the hitter. Colome and Machado. Pitch is down. Machado 5 of 14 in his career against Colome. Ground ball right side. So a 2-out hit for Machado. And another base runner for Baltimore. The 9th hit for the Orioles.
Manny Machado going to stay down and inside this baseball. You see, you got the Rays infielders there spread out pretty thin, open on the right side. You know, you move Trevor Plouffe way off the bag and you try to put him into that in-between area, but Machado able to sneak it by him and give the Orioles another shot here.
And you know, even if he comes up with that ball, there's a question as to whether you're going to get anybody to cover first in time.
That's where your pitcher has to know that he's there, and ball to the right side, you've got to go. You've just got to mentally tell yourself you're selling out to first base. And that's, you're right, that's one of the things about the shift where as a pitcher, you got to know if Plouffe fields that, you had better be on your way, or if there's no play to be made, if not.
Scope fouling that pitch, strike 1. Jonathan Scope started the uprising in the 8th with a walk. Ground ball. That will go through, out of the reach of the diving Beckham, on his way to third. Machado, the throw back into second, and Scope keeps this game going. He got that one in between Beckham and Echeverria and threw into center.
Boy, split the difference. He had the shift, and look at how he just worked that right between Beckham and Echeverria. Could not have placed that more perfectly. And well, now things interesting.
Now 2 on with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Mark Trumbo, the designated hitter, is the hitter. Trumbo, you see, 1 of 11 against Colome. That hit a home run and 5 strikeouts. So this one going right down to the wire. Colome, pitch to Trumbo, ground ball short. Echeverria to second. Rays win it. Rays win this one. It's a 5-4 final, and they snap the 5-game losing streak as Trumbo grounds into the force play at second base. Echeverria taking care of the ground ball, And the Rays win their 52nd game of the year.